Aloha ka kahiaka. Good morning, everybody. I'm Auntie Becky, known here in Merced as Auntie Becky. My official name and title is Pi'ilani o Kumuku Aina, which means that I am Pumuhula and educated in traditional Hawaiian kahiko, which is ancient. This is my friend and kokua, Sheri Mowani o Kuahivi is my kokua, my helper, and has danced with me for many years. Okay, so before we get into the dance, I did want to talk a little bit about what we're wearing. We are wearing the traditional Hawaiian pa'u skirt, and this would be used for the older numbers, ancient numbers, drummed numbers, and even some of the modern numbers would have more colorful ones, but this is what they wore in Hawaii. The grass skirt is not Hawaiian. Grass skirt is Tahitian. Hawaiians might, though, wear tea leaf skirt at some point, depending on what they're dancing. And then this is what we call a pahu. A pahu is a ceremonial drum, and for some numbers, like the one that we're doing today, for some dances, you use it in a ceremonial fashion. So for this song that we're doing today, we're going to be using the pahu. And today we're going to teach you something of cultural significance. We are teaching ancient style Hawaiian, but this is a rather new kind of performance that is happening in Hawaii today. There is a cultural movement going on today to protect Mauna Kea, the mountain on the Big Island, where they're trying to put a 17-story observatory. An observatory with 17 stories, and they want to access the water beneath the mountain. But the mountain is the cultural and physical property of the Hawaiian people, and the Hawaiian people are objecting. So this is part of what we call the aha chants, the ceremonial chants. They want this to be out in the world, and they have requested that people teach it, so I'm going to teach it. So this is officially from a man called Lanakila Manguel, who is the curator of the museum, the Hawaiian Museum there in the Big Island. It's 4 lines, and he taught it because he wanted people to know the genealogy, or to understand the genealogy of the mountain, because Hawaiians believe that the mountain was born and that it's sacred. So this is Hanau ka Mauna Kea. I just wanted to speak briefly on how we present material to an audience. So first you'll hear the drum go boom, boom, boom. Hands will go up, and I will say ho'oma kau kau, and the dancer will say
Hi. O Hanau ka Mauna Kea.
And then we'll begin the dance. But at the very end, you will have been dancing. Let's do the last pa and into the Aowake. Last pa. 1, 2, 3, and boom, boom, and boom, boom, boom.
Aowake.
So at the end, you have to say Aowake. And your hands just come to the front, and they're just touching, just like that, right from your shoulder. Okay, so that would be at the very end. Thank you. First verse. Okay, first verse. First you start by putting your hands up, and then I do what they call kahea. I say ho'oma kau kau, and that means get ready. And then the dancers, or the haumana, say I o Hanau ka Mauna Kea. So what we're doing is we're introducing the dance. And then there is what they call a introduction, and the drum is going to sound boom, 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 boom. And then we all start. 1, 2, 3, chest, and 1, 2, 3, and chest. And that's your first line. O Hanau ka Mauna Kea. Okay, and then the mountain is being born and is blooming forth. See? Okay, so we're going to try from the pa. This is the first verse. O Hanau ka Mauna Kea. O Hanau verse 2 times. O Hanau, ka Mauna Kea. O Hanau, ka Mauna Kea. O Pua e ka Mauna Kea. And ready, stop. Very good. So, there are 4 verses. That was the first verse. Now, we did not do any feet. And one of the reasons I chose this number is because there's minimal feet. You may do it sitting on the floor, or you may do it standing up. And all you do is you go, just your foot is just keeping time to the music. Your hip is moving side to side. Okay? Pa. O Hanau, ka Mauna Kea. O Hanau, ka Mauna Kea. O Pua e ka Mauna Kea. O Hanau, ka Mauna Kea. O Hanau, ka Mauna Kea. O Pua e ka Mauna Kea. O Wakea ke kane. O Wakea ke kane o Papa. Walinu ka wahine. O Wakea ke kane o Papa. O Wakea ke kane o Papa. Walinu ka wahine. Ready, stop. So we just did the second verse, so now we're going to continue and talk about the second verse and do it. So first you have the pa, this one here on the first line, as usual. Second line. Walinu ka wahine. Okay, so the words. O Wakea ke kane o Papa. O Wakea is the sky god. Papa Walinu is the earth mother, and together they birthed this mountain. So O Wakea ke kane o Papa Walinu ka wahine, the woman. Walinu, Papa Walinu is the earth mother, and she's female. So it talks about the original, or the gods that were in the past, who gave birth to actually all of the islands. It was those 2 mostly who gave birth to all of the islands of Hawaii. And the story comes from one of the genealogy chants, the Kumulipo, and there's many genealogy chants. So this chant that we are teaching is particularly about the mountain. So, slap legs here, and through the birth canal, the island is coming. And then when your hands go up to the top, there's going to go like this, and your elbows come out. So you're going from straight to elbows, and then it comes down. Ka wahine, the woman. Okay? And we'll go from the pa, and we'll do 2 times. Ready? Pa. O Wakea ke kane. O Wakea ke kane o Papa. Walinu ka wahine. O Wakea ke kane o Papa. O Wakea ke kane o Papa. Walinu ka wahine. So, we're talking about the third verse, which is Hanau Ho'ohoku. Hanau Ho'ohoku o Kalani was the star, born of the stars. And then the second one, Halua, was born of Wakea and Papa Walinu. He was the firstborn son. Halua was the firstborn son. but he died. And so when they buried him in the ground, he became the kalo, or the taro, you call it taro. In Hawaii they call it kalo. And because he was the older brother, he was responsible for the sustenance of the people. So he became the kalo, and then the second child was born, which was Haloa, who became the elite, or the royalty. So we're going to go to the third verse. So you have the pa, as usual. And stop. So that's the third verse. Hanau ho'ohoku he wahine. The stars are born, and then Haloa is born. So now we're going to go to the last verse, which is Hanau ka Mauna Kea, which it kind of goes back to the first verse, talking about the mountain being born. Ready? Pa. Hanau ka Mauna Kea. Hanau ka Mauna Kea. Okeki Mauna Kea. Hanau ka Mauna Kea. Hanau ka Mauna Kea. Okeki Mauna Kea. One more time. Hanau ka Mauna Kea. Hanau ka Mauna Kea. Keiki Mauna Kea. Eo wa kea. And then you hear the drum, boom, boom, and your hand's going to go back here. Now you notice that the head motions too, because there's a saying that says where the hands go, the eyes must follow. So because you're telling stories. So let's go back to the first verse. Hanau ka Mauna Kea. So when the mountain is born, you're going to look at your hands and open as it's blooming, and you're going to look up as the mountain is rising. That's the first verse. Okay. Second verse. O wakea ke kane o papa vali nu'u kawahine. So as your hands go, you're looking down, and your hands come up, and you're going to look up, and then your hands change and come down to your chest. So you'll notice that our head and eyes are following your hands. Okay. Third verse. Hanau ho'ohoku ke wahine hanau haloa. Okay, haloa. You're going to look down. If you were on your knees sitting and doing hula noho, you would be touching the floor here. But as we're standing, we can't touch the floor. We just lean over, and right here you're going to lean back. Okay, and that's the third verse. And the fourth verse, the mountain again. Mountain, he keiki mauna. You're going to look to the right, and as your hands come up, this is an hourglass, and goes back out, and you're looking back up at the mountain. Okay, so we're going to do the whole thing, and pay attention to Sheri. And can it see her, Sheri, in the mirror? I think so. So I'm going to play it, and Sheri, you do it. We'll do it slow. It's usually maybe a little faster, but.
And now, we'll show you the entire dance from another angle.
O Omakau.
I, O Hanau ka Mauna Kea.
Okay, so that is the dance, Hanau ka Mauna Kea. It's 4 lines from one of the genealogy chants, and it's meant to teach you about the mountain, Mauna Kea, on the big island of Hawaii. And we hope that we have been able to give you something just a little bit more substantial than what you think the hula is. Everybody thinks the hula is just for the luau, but you have to remember that the hula is connected to a people and is their cultural way of telling stories and their history and their genealogy. So mahalo for joining us. I hope that you guys had a good time and found something interesting that you wouldn't have known otherwise. So mahalo.